From his coaching stint turning out to be a huge disaster, to only a little hope being left for Team Conor, here's why Conor McGregor's The Ultimate Fighter team keeps losing. Oh boy, season 31 of the show has been an absolute mess for the fighter. People are ripping him apart for his lackluster coaching skills. I mean, there have been moments on the show where you can tell that he's just not into it. Like he doesn't even bother trying to lift his team. Frankly speaking, many fans have gone as far as to label him the worst coach in the show's history. Yep, I'm not joking. Even critics like Brendan Schaub aren't holding back. In fact, he said in his podcast that Conor lacks the passion and drive to mentor his team members. Love him or hate him, but you can't deny that he's right. For instance, take the 6th episode of season 31, when Wonderboy Stephen Thompson visited McGregor and straight up asked whether he'd coach today or not. And Conor responded, "Yeah, sure, I'll be there." But let's be real, you can tell that the guy doesn't care at all. Even the filming crew spilled the beans, saying that McGregor is always glued to his phone, not training the guys. What's more, they revealed that he constantly shows up to the morning practices late, and sometimes he's not even there with the team during fights. Now look, I get it. Conor's a megastar. He can do what he wants. But when you're a coach, especially on The Ultimate Fighter, you've got to be on your A game. It should be all about building up these fighters, making them champions, not just goofing around. Now that you've seen how Conor's coaching performance has been a disaster, it's no surprise that his team has been stuck in a continuous losing streak, leaving fans utterly disappointed in the star. When the UFC first announced that Conor McGregor would be coaching against Michael Chandler on The Ultimate Fighter Season 31, the fans were sure that the Irish superstar wouldn't make a good coach. Throughout the season, Conor's poor performance and unprofessional behavior have proved them right. Honestly, it's disappointing to see his team's consecutive 7 losses. But what's even more concerning is how he's been crossing the line during practice sessions with his teammates. In one instance, while helping Landon Quinones prepare for his fight, McGregor went a bit too far and dropped him with a brutal kick to the liver days before his match against Jason Knight. Of course, this isn't the kind of behavior you'd expect from a coach who should be supporting his fighters. And to add insult to injury, after another defeat, the Irish fighter was caught on camera, embarrassingly asking Dana White what would happen if his team fell to 8-0. Even the boss himself seemed stunned and unsure of the answer. As you can guess, fans of Team McGregor are growing increasingly frustrated with their team's poor performance, especially when their star player seems absent during crucial moments. In fact, many fans took to Twitter to vent their frustrations. One fan angrily questioned how the team could win without their coach showing up. Besides this, another fan was concerned if Team McGregor can turn things around and save their season. Moving on, there's one question on everyone's mind, whether the fighters on Conor's team are just bad, or if the poor performance is solely the coach's fault. But let me tell you, a team's success depends heavily on their coach. If McGregor isn't providing the right training and advice, it's going to show in the fighters, and that's exactly what's happening here. According to Dana White, the coach's approach is a bit strange, like he doesn't even show up to the morning practices, leaving his assistant coaches to handle the light workouts, and only shows up at night to get technical and hands-on. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, right? Now some may wonder if the European fighters are disappointed that Conor's only taking charge of half of the training sessions, but surprisingly, they seem pretty content with it. But let's get real. Despite their feelings, the results aren't reflecting positively on their performance. To be fair, there were doubts about McGregor's coaching abilities from the very start, thanks to his massive ego. I mean, he even had breakdowns on the show, especially after facing losses. During one of the episodes, he lost his cool after his team's continuous losing streak. In fact, he went into the cage and started complaining about the 2-round length of the fights. To add to that, he also took his frustration to Twitter, which didn't go down well with fans. They were quick to dub him the worst coach in the show's history. Honestly, the show was a golden opportunity for the fighters to kickstart their careers. But unfortunately, Conor's arrogance seems to have taken a toll on their dreams. Even Michael Chandler is tired of his tantrums. In fact, he called out McGregor after his trash talk in an episode of The Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, the drama continues. I've already mentioned that Team Conor had 7 consecutive losses, but finally, they managed to secure a KO win, thanks to Rico Disulo. Now, you know McGregor, he just can't resist good trash talk. So after the victory, Conor went on a rant, claiming that Michael Chandler's fighters were all about holding instead of fighting. Of course, Chandler's fans weren't having it. They called out Conor for making such bold claims after having consecutive losses. Shots fired. But you know what? Michael himself wasn't going to take that lightly. He fired back with 2 audio clips on Twitter where he roasted Conor as a coach. Basically, Chandler played McGregor's rant on Team Chandler after his first TUF 31 win, and he didn't hold back on his commentary. First, he called out Conor for trying to start a fight with his entire team after just 1 win. Ouch! And the rant didn't stop there. Chandler even mocked McGregor's catchphrase, "Team here today, gone tomorrow." He told him to get out of there, stating that Team Chandler, which was supposedly here today, gone tomorrow, just went 7-1 against McGregor's fighters. Oh boy, he went there. I've got to say, this back and forth between Chandler and McGregor has left many wondering about them facing it off inside the ring. Turns out, Dana White said he won't be making any promises because it's hard to keep Conor motivated when he's good on cash. With that said, it seems like the real-world scandals and bad reputation are also seriously affecting Conor's coaching stint. In June 2023, he faced some serious allegations, with accusations of sexual assault during an NBA Finals. Since then, he's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. And let's be real, the whole scandal has overshadowed everything on the show. And get this, instead of focusing on his coaching skills and team performance, the main topic has been the expectations that his participation in the show has created for his fighting career. It's like he's using his time on the show to boost his career and draw the attention away from his public image, while also securing more fights in the UFC. No wonder he seems least interested in coaching. Honestly, he's got other things on his mind, and it's affecting his performance as a mentor. Adding to the mess, it looks like the producers wanted to freshen things up by putting former UFC talents against untested newcomers. Clearly, it has turned out to be a total flop. The fights lacked competitiveness, and that's not good news for Conor, especially since he had the option to choose which groups of fighters he wanted to coach. And he went with the rookies both times. All in all, this season of TUF is plagued with problems. So much so that there's only a little hope left for Team Conor. After all, the show has already been recorded and packaged as an entertainment product, so there's not much Conor can do now to change it. And you already know that he didn't do a whole lot as a coach. No surprise, his team members are suffering to say the least. Still, this experience should serve as a wake-up call for Conor to start taking things seriously. Despite the cloud of ongoing legal issues and drama from USADA, not to mention the string of losses from his team, there are still some positives here. In the world of media, any press is good press, and McGregor knows how to make headlines. No matter his performance, the ratings for the show are up, thanks to the attention he brings. Now, if his fighters can step up and secure some competitive results, or maybe even land a spot in the finals, it opens up opportunities for the UFC to figure out a potential McGregor versus Chandler pay-per-view event. That's something fans would be eager to see. So there you have it. With only a little hope left for Team Conor, to his coaching stint turning out to be a huge disaster. These were the reasons behind Team Conor's poor performance on The Ultimate Fighter.